People from the internet, hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. The time has come for me to make another non-gameplay video. This time we are talking about Dithmenos, the Shadow. Dithmenos the Shadow desires all to be darkness. Followers of Dithmenos gain a strange and otherworldly affinity to the shadows of their environment. This god despises the physical world and constantly seeks to encroach on it. Dithmenos therefore rewards those who wield death and destruction, while gradually consuming them with darkness. What does this mean? Dithmenos will give you a Nombra aura um, from 1 pip of piety. It expands until you get to 6 pips of piety. What does the aura of darkness do? Oh, I'm streaming. Well, I guess I'm streaming. Sorry. Well, let's experiment with this. What does the aura of darkness do? It enhances your stealth and reduces the accuracy of your foes. Yes. It gives you effectively like 5 evasion. The game doesn't show it to you for some reason, but it does. It's pretty annoying that the game doesn't show it to you. Um, the stealth enhancement is actually quite nice. It lets you be stealthy even if you're wearing like mid-tier armor. Think Ice Dragon scales, scale mail, maybe chainmail is a bit too much. But yeah, it's certainly nice, especially if you train a bit of stealth. It can make it so that things that you would think would wake up are not gonna wake up. Can be nice. Yep. So, Dithmenos has a couple of powers, but I think the most important and most impactful ability of Dithmenos is this. Your shadow sometimes tangibly mimics your actions. What does this mean? It means that whenever you attack, sometimes, once you get the ability, it's unlocked at like 4 pips of piety. It's not particularly early in the worship of Dithmenos. Sometimes your shadow copies it. Very self-explanatory. It's not quite the same thing. So if you cast, I don't know, Iron Shot, your shadow is not gonna cast Iron Shot. It's gonna cast something that's kind of like Iron Shot, but not quite. This is something that you can more easily notice when you cast something like Orb of Destruction, because the shadow will copy Orb of Destruction, but it's not gonna be an Orb of Destruction. It's just gonna be a beam of shadow energy or whatever it is. So yeah, it works with spells, it works with projectiles, it works with melee attacks, it works with throwables. So this just makes you sometimes deal more damage spontaneously. It's nice. Uh, Between the Umbra and this, and that's like the bulk of Dithmenos. Dithmenos also has the smoke, the bleeding of smoke when you get hit really hard. That can be kind of annoying, especially if you're playing a thrower, because you cannot see the monsters to retaliate when that happens. But if you're playing a spellcaster, this is super nice because spellcasters more often than not have the ability to attack through the smoke. So you can do that. You can continue attacking through the smoke while the monsters do not attack you through the smoke. That's really strong. You can step into the shadows of nearby creatures. The monsters need to be asleep and inside your umbra for you to be able to do this, but it places you next to the monster, ready for a staff. Um, I don't think that I've used this even once. It's not really a very impactful ability on the kind of characters that I worship Dithmenos on, because I tend to use Dithmenos on characters that take advantage of the shadow mimicking your actions. Um, so yeah. Mm, and then the last ability of Dithmenos is transforming into a swirling mass of shadows. A very expensive ability, but the shadow form transformation is super strong in the terms of in defensive terms. It gives you effectively double HP because everything deals 50% less damage. It makes you permanently invisible. It makes you immune to negative energy. It makes you immune to hexes. It's super powerful. Very good at running away or ninjaing, specifically the Orb of Sot. On the other hand, every time that you take damage while in shadow form, you're gonna get drained. So you are not to use this every fight. It also makes it so that your melee and your spellcasting is pretty garbage. Um, so you are not incentivized to fight when you use this. You're meant to use it, go pick up whatever you want to pick up, or run to the stairs and get out, and then turn it off or wait it off. Um, it's not really a combat form. Pretty powerful ability. Um, so yeah, recently I played a Dithmenos character and it was going very well until I made a mistake. But I think that I would have loved to show you this specific thing that I talked about. The shadow form on Sot would have been nice. Um, but anyway, that's pretty much all that Dithmenos has to offer. It's not a very exciting goth. It is supposed to be a god of like stealthiness and potentially stabbing. Um, but in practice, it doesn't really work as well as a stabbing god compared to something like Uskayo or maybe even Wujian. With a bit of stealth, Wujian lunging works better for the purposes of stabbing, even more so if you're something like a Kobold, because Kobold with Wujian gets guaranteed stabs with Serpent Slash. Something that I've talked about a lot, but you know. So yeah, that's Dithmenos. Out of shadow, the extent of which is reflective of the level of the emotion. So yeah, the more piety, the more aura of shadow you get, the more umbra. The ability to instantly step into the shadow of nearby creatures. Yep. Protects followers by occasionally shrouding those struggling attacks with dark smoke. Already talked about that. But his followers will find their own shadow, will begin to attack on its own. Already talked about that. In fact, I think that's the most important thing that Dithmenos has to offer. Eventually gain the ability to assume the form of a shadow it's themselves. Yep. Also talked about that. Yeah, when Dithmenos just kills things. That's it. Um, with many, or like I think with all gods, you don't really have to go too much out of your way to please them. I guess there's the Ru sacrifices and the Ashansari curses, but they're not really that bad as it used to be before with the whole sacrificing corpses and burning books and stuff and healing monsters because Celivillion liked it when you healed monsters. Yeah. So that's it for Dithmenos. I hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you for everything. Um, I hope you have a nice rest of your weekend. And yeah. And thank you to my supporters on Patreon, Anthony Emergence, Blink and Die, Dilos Ball, Inon, Grapophilia, and Fede. I hope that you enjoy my content. I hope that you get value for what you provide me with. And I would like to once again thank you for your continued support.